opening statement, then go to our radio crew.
Yeah, I think, I know we beat a heck of a team tonight. I think that said this coming into the game that, I thought they were playing as well as anybody in our league. I think that, while they may not have the name of a North Carolina or a Duke, I think they're playing as well as anyone in the league. They're very well coached. They have really good players. They're connected. And I told our guys in the locker room, before the game, I told them we're playing a really good team. And I thought we beat a really good team tonight. And it's not because they didn't play well. Jaylen Cone, he's a freak show. He's so tiny, but he's so fast. So fast. And, he's just pops up and shoots it so quick. And I told him after the game I didn't like him at all. We recruited him a little bit. He's a terrific player. Luma was doing so well coming into the game. And for Jaylen Withers, a redshirt freshman, to battle him and have a double-double. And I thought he and Quinn really, really played above the way they've been playing. And our team needed that against a really good Vatech team.
Chris, you mentioned it. What a really good team. It's so strange. You look at the stats, you win by 2. You'd think it might have been a game that went back and forth, and yet there's only one lead change in the whole game. So you guys were kind of having things your way till the very end. At the end of the game, tell me a little bit about your thoughts about what went on there.
Well, a couple of those shots were just some really, really, gut-wrenching, tough shots. I think the game might have been a little different down the stretch, Bob. Had Carleek, he missed that little finger roll. I know he was so frustrated with himself, but, he delivers so many times for us, and he got right to the paint, and it just rimmed in and out. And then they come down and they cut the deficit, and now it becomes a little bit closer. We did a good job of getting the ball inbound against the pressure. Thought that they would, on the last play where Carleek sort of lost the ball going to his left, we thought they were really going to double hard on the ball screen. We're going to short roll David right there in the post and have maybe a lob, short roll him right there at the elbow, and Jaylen was going to fly to the baseline from the corner, but they just switched it, and Carleek had to make a one-on-one play, and it was tough. We didn't give him a whole lot of space. That was probably my error more than his.
You look at some things, though, you got to be pleased with. I thought they did a terrific job walling up inside. You won the battle points in the paint 30-20. They've been running really well of late. Virginia Tech held them to 2 fast break points. So defensively, there had to be a lot of things you were pleased with, though.
Yeah, my uncle probably was doing the fast break points because I remember a 3 that Jaylen Cone hit right in front of our bench in transition. So it's hard to keep a really good team down. Like I said, they play, they run. I didn't like our start. You get down 11-0, but then have a halftime lead of 5 points. So we outscored them 16. They're a really good team. Thought that what Mike does in terms of the duck-ins for Aluma, they'll also do it for Mutz. We felt like they would do that against Quinn and Sam as well. We held our own in the paint. They hit some tough shots down the stretch, and I liked our offense. I thought we did a pretty good job tonight. We were a lot less stagnant. We had a purpose. And we got to continue to get better.
I wrote that on the notes here, moving with a purpose. One of the things is the way you guys ran. I mean, even if you didn't score in the initial break, you ran to kind of get them on their heels defensively a little bit. I thought that was a big deal tonight. You like your running game a little more tonight?
I did, and we're going to continue to push the pace. It was really strange because at the beginning of the year, Bob, we had like 6, 7, healthy scholarship guys that were playing, and then we were playing every other day for 8 days, and like to tell them we're going to play, like Arkansas in the mid-90s, we can't do it and be able to play the next game. So now that, guys are starting to come off the injured reserve, guys like Josh Nickelberry, we're getting Charles back, we're going to start to have more numbers and have the ability to push the ball. And I think we're really effective when we do that because we have 2 of the better point guards in the country in Dave and Carleek.
And they did their job again tonight, 17 each. But you mentioned Withers with a double-double, 12 rebounds. You took him out after the start of the second half when he was playing well. Are you still having to manage minutes for him for endurance, or what was going through your head there?
I thought he had a heck of a stretch to start the half, and he called for it. And that's our rule. You call and you need a sub. We're going to get you out and we'll put you back in when you feel like you're ready. And we didn't take him out because of mental errors or he was playing lazy. He just got tired. And when you play a guy like Aluma and you're running the floor, those things are going to happen.
One last question, and certainly everybody contributed. Literally everybody put something in the pot tonight. You mentioned how well Slazinski played. Sam, though, is struggling offensively a little bit. What does he have to do to get going a little bit, do you think?
I think he has to play harder. I think that if we're all running the floor and he's not, that, he sticked out like a sore thumb. And so, he's been practicing a little bit better. But he does have to get going. He's a way better player than he's playing. If he allows it to get mental, that'll be an issue. But the good thing is he's keeping a good attitude. And usually good things happen for guys that have the right attitude. He needs to play harder on both ends of the floor and with more intensity. And when he does that, I think he'll be a lot more successful at this level.
I lied. One last quick question. What are you going to do about Saturday now? Do you approach it with a possibility they give you another team, or there's no way you're going to play a game? How do you approach it?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to play. We looked around a little bit, but the last thing we want to do is bring in a team that doesn't have the ACC standards and protocols, and then we get positives, and then we're like some of these other teams that are pausing. So, our team, we came back from the Kentucky game off Christmas break. That was a 3-day break that we had. We went right into prep for Boston College. We went right into prep. We need to work on ourselves, especially as we get some of these guys back and we get Charles back. We need to do situational stuff. We need to do stuff, where we're handling the press with, a couple minutes left in the game. We need to be able to, rest a little bit. But, we'll still practice, but we'll turn our attention to Wake Forest more when the beginning of the week comes around.
Congratulations, Chris. Good win.
Thanks, Bob.
And we'll go to our first media question from Kent.
Yeah, Chris, you guys get down 11-0. You call that quick timeout. What was your message to your team in that timeout? Because it seemed like they played like it was almost like you had a completely different team defensively after that. The intensity really amped up. Yeah,
I mean, there were some just absolute, blown assignments. And, not only blown assignments, but on the defensive end, but on offense, you have to be the same team on game night as you are on the practice floor. Otherwise, trust is burnt between teammates. And so, we're young, we're learning that, but like the game lights can't all of a sudden, hey, now I'm going to drive it here. Well, that's not the time to drive it. It's one pass. There's 25 seconds on the shot clock. We still want to move. We want to get player movement and ball movement before we try to attack soft spots or seams that we feel like are there or take advantage of ball screen offense. I just felt like we were steps slow in the beginning. Virginia Tech never stops moving on offense. And, sometimes we've in practice have defended a stagnant team on offense. That's been my complaint of my team. And so you get in the habit of practicing against yourselves and you're standing around a lot defensively, and that's not going to work against Virginia Tech. So we amped it up. Carlik got out in the passing lanes a couple times, and we were much better after that timeout.
Go to Russ and then Shannon.
Yeah, Chris, Russ Brown. Could you elaborate a little bit on what you liked about Withers and Slazinski tonight? You mentioned both of those.
Yeah, I would tell you that if they were up here, Russ, they would probably tell you how hard I've been on each of them. Jaylen, I've never really stopped being hard on. Quinn, I think the last, 3 games has given us the kind of effort and toughness that is expected. I think that good players want expectations. Good players want to be coached hard. Good players are not they're ready. They're ready. Jaylen's not always ready. And I don't mean that in the game. He's learning in the game. He's a freshman. But in the first rep of a practice drill, he bobbles the ball. In the first rep of a practice drill, after his position coach, has told him, hey, cut left, he'll cut right. And then he'll snap out of it. Really good players at this, they don't snap out of it. They are ingrained. They are invested in the moment. And Jaylen's learning that. And when he does run the floor really hard, when he does block out, when he's above his man in the post, he can have nights like tonight. And so I told him, man, I'm really happy because, coaches that are hard on players, it's because they expect a lot. And I said, just so you know, the next practice, I'm going to jump even harder when you bobble the ball in the first drill.
Shannon?
What about Slazinski? I'm sorry. You mentioned him too.
Yeah, I just think that Quinn, he's a great voice for our team. He sees what's going on the floor. He communicates. His toughness level is increased. He still slips in a few areas, but again, part of that is probably game experience, versus not being tough enough at times. He's learning, but I think he's playing with a lot more confidence. It was good to see him, go 1 for 2 from the 3-point line. Players get their confidence boosted when a shot goes in, but that can't be the reason that you play hard or not. I think Quinn's done a great job in his role the last 3 games.
Now to Shannon.
After David missed that last free throw, what were you hoping the team would do? Were you wanting them to play good perimeter defense, knowing that they would get up a 3?
What do you think?
I think I just need you to say it.
Okay. I wanted them to play really good perimeter defense so they wouldn't make a 3. We were going to call a timeout so that we didn't, Kentucky it at the end and not foul. We wanted to foul if we made it. We didn't communicate that to David because had they missed, we just have to play solid man-to-man defense if David misses. If he made it, we were going to call a timeout. I'm sure Mike may have called a timeout, so whoever beat who to the timeout. And we were going to make sure we were matched up, and we were going to foul the ball handler before half court and hope we get the defensive rebound off the missed free throw. It was sort of a good thing that Jaylen went after the ball without fouling because I think it got Aluma sort of spun around a little bit. He outletted it, to Cantor, and they were just sort of jumbled together. But he did a good job. He cut across the grain, and we sort of communicated that out. He took a far shot. I knew as soon as he let it go that it wasn't going in. That was the first shot I felt like wasn't going in tonight from either here or Cone, just because I could, from my vantage point, I was straight behind his release.
Go to Tim and then Fred.
You're on mute, Tim.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. I haven't been in every game, but this sounds about as pleased as you've been at any game that I've seen. Is that a reflection of a tight win in a conference opponent, or do you see real progress in your team?
A little bit of both. I was very well prepared to come here and say, hey, hats off to Virginia Tech. Kid hit a great shot at the end, and, we battled one of the best teams in the league. I said that to our team. My job, as I see it, is to tell the team the truth. And I really felt like coming in. I mean, we had the power rankings up in our practice gym. West Durham had Virginia Tech number 1. Luke Hancock had him number 1. Everybody had him number 1, and there's a reason for that. They've earned that. But it's really early. So I think that we beat a really good team that I thought played well. Mike may disagree, but I thought they played well. They didn't lay an egg. And I think we're growing up. Certain players are getting better. Jaylen Withers had his best game in a uniform. So did Quinn, I thought. And Carleek David continued to be solid. Josh Nickelberry is now contributing, not just on the offensive end, but defensively made some plays. So I think we're getting better.
You see the stagnation coming to an end?
I don't think anything's final. Success is never final. Failure is never fatal. I've heard that before. I don't know who to quote, so I won't take it as my own. But we just have to continue to coach them that they take ownership of we don't play stagnant. We move the ball, we attack, and I think we're going to get there. We're just young, but I think we'll get there.
Thank you.
Fred.
Coach Fred Calgill, WLKY. You guys are in first place. I know it's early. I know it's January 7th or whatever, but you're 3-0 and in first place in the ACC. Get your arms around that. What does that mean to you guys? And how does that maybe fuel or motivate you guys for the next 8 weeks, especially given the roller coaster of COVID and everything, including
I've talked to Kenny Klein. We're going to opt out from here on out. And if they want to, if Mr. Swafford would like to present us with the trophy, we will be at the ACC tournament wherever it's played. It's so early. I mean, I don't know if we'll play 20 ACC games, but we're going to play a heck of a lot more than 3. And so, we got a long way to go. But it beats being 0-3. I can tell you that.
Fair enough.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Guys.
We'll be back with the players shortly.